An update. Med student that we covered day one has now recovered from almost drowning to death. But there's a caveat. Put it up full mask. Remember the situation. Remember the story. His friends watched him damn near die. His friend pushed him and then lied about it. Pushed him in the water. But he's not pressing charges, and the family believes there's coercion happening. 26-year-old Christopher Gilbert, the aspiring Black doctor from Louisiana, has now fully recovered after nearly drowning when a white co-worker shoved him into a lake last month. Despite being on life support for 3 weeks, Gilbert holds no resentment, and he told the New York Post about the April 14th incident, quote, "I don't think anyone did anything intentionally wrong." We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Gilbert, who last earned his master's in biological science from Louisiana Tech University, made a miraculous recovery and is now defending his 22-year-old co-worker, Cassidy Holland, who was, quote, just joking around when she pushed him off the dock at Lake D'Arbonne in Farmerville. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Initial reports claimed the man's friends did nothing to rescue him, leading family attorney Claudia Payne to suggest the incident was intentional and potentially racially motivated. However, now fully recovered, Gilbert denies these claims and his mother's assertion that he was brain dead. I kind of hate the claims about me being brain dead or this attempting for it to be some sort of race issue, Gilbert told the Post, explaining that such a prognosis would be damaging to his future as a physician. Who would want a doctor who has suffered brain damage, he asked. Gilbert also refuted Payne's claim that the family was seeking Holland's arrest over the incident, telling the outlet that's completely false. Gilbert's attorney, Aaron Lawrence, confirmed Gilbert would not press charges against Holland or anyone else. Previously, Gilbert's mother, Yolanda George, had planned to file charges claiming he was declared brain dead after a prank gone wrong. Lawrence called some of George and Payne's statement as reckless, saying how sharing information without common sense has made an already bad situation much worse. However, George's theories about what happened might have stemmed from what she was told by the actual police. When questioned, Gilbert's friends initially called the incident, quote, horseplay. But after his rescue, his friends were accused of lying to his mother that Gilbert had fallen into the lake by accident. Holland, who did not come forward immediately, eventually admitted that was a lie and admitted that she, in fact, pushed Gilbert into the water. The friends claimed ignorance of his inability to swim, leading to no charges on April 30th. Payne held a press conference demanding Holland's arrest, but police did not charge her. Gilbert's mother maintained that his friends acted with criminal intent, knowing he could not swim. There's a dilemma here. The mother is obviously in a dilemma. The young man was in a dilemma and still technically is in a dilemma. There's public friction now because of things that typically would be very personal and private, even though dramatic and serious. So these are your friends. You're on a dock. You're on a dock. It's water. If you don't know how to swim, that may actually come up in a conversation with friends if they don't already know. That may come up in the conversation there. And so that's the mother's point of view here, that there's no way that they didn't know he could not swim, okay? Holland insists she and others tried to save Gilbert, contradicting reports that they did nothing as he drowned. Quote, "I would never try to hurt him," she told the Post, calling Gilbert a dear friend and expressing her joy at his recovery. 2 days after leaving the hospital, Gilbert met up with the group for a heartfelt reunion. to celebrate his surprisingly fast recovery. Quote, there was a lot of relief and I felt like it was very emotional, he said. Now there's more. Payne responded to Gilbert and Lawrence's comment Sunday, claiming Gilbert had planned to give a statement to authorities but changed his mind after speaking with his friends. She shared a screenshot of a video call indicating it was one of her last meetings with Gilbert in the hospital before he decided against pressing charges. Payne wrote on Facebook, it was after the video conference based on Gilbert's statement, she contacted law enforcement to arrange a meeting to share his statement, confident it would lead to an arrest. Payne continued, quote, Mr. Gilbert has chosen to accept a story given to him by his friends and desires to discontinue the pursuit of legal action. While we think it is the wrong decision and that he has been influenced by those who have a conflict of interest, we accept it. I have done nothing that is adverse to what my former client consented, advised, or agreed to. There are text messages, recordings, and other records that support the integrity of my office. Now let's step back. What is the attorney saying? The attorney is saying, okay, contrary to what is being said now, that is not what my client said previously, okay? And if anybody wants to make an issue about it, just understand that as a law firm, we have the text messages, we have the exchanges, and we have the conversations, just in case, okay? There's more. On the day of the incident, Gilbert was at the lake with nearly a dozen friends, having drinks at Rhett's Tails and Shells, when the group decided to go outside the dock, to the dock. And Holland and Gilbert apparently began goofing around. I took my keys, wallet, and phone out of my pockets and took my shoes off. I knew Cassidy wanted to push me in for messing with her, so I kind of played into it. Gilbert told the Post during the Zoom interview, quote, I thought maybe the water wouldn't be as deep and I would kind of hit the ground, get my footing, and stood up and come back up and grab the pier and just stand there, he explained. After a few seconds, however, Gilbert realized he was in trouble. And then the water ended up being deeper than we thought and being a lot colder than we thought. Gilbert said, while acknowledging he is not the strongest swimmer, he noted, I misjudged the situation. So the viral video captured the incident showing colleagues sitting casually outside the lakefront restaurant when Gilbert was pushed into the water. A woman with the group initially dove in to help, but she and others panicked and backed off as Gilbert sank, with the group appearing to take no immediate action as he disappeared beneath the water. After a few minutes, a restaurant customer, somebody who was not there during that incident on the dock, was not in that proximity, but a restaurant customer named Dawson noticed the commotion, dove in, was able to rescue Gilbert. A police report stated Gilbert was underwater for no more than 5 minutes, with a witness suggesting it was closer to 3 or 4 minutes before he was saved. Bystanders performed CPR. Gilbert regained breathing and pulse, though he remained motionless on the dock. Paramedics rushed him to a nearby hospital and he was later airlifted to LSU Health in Shreveport. Discussed the week of discharge, the week of May 5th, Gilbert made a remarkable recovery despite a dire diagnosis. He was on a ventilator for 72 hours and an oxygen machine, which his nurse said did in fact accelerate his healing. A day after the incident, doctors were hopeful about Gilbert's recovery as he responded to commands. 3 weeks later, he went home. He recently started a GoFundMe, raising over $29,000 towards his potential $300,000 medical bill. Now recovered, Gilbert plans to return to his bartending job and continue studying for the MCAT exam next year, and that's for medical school. Listen, let's keep the GoFundMe up. I want the young man to get help as much as he can. I think he's going to be a remarkable doctor. This story has a lot of twists and turns, and people will have varying opinions about what may have happened, what should have happened, what could have happened. But I will say this about the GoFundMe. Mr. Christopher Gilbert, even if the actions of your friend and or friends were unintentional, they are still the but-for factor in your current situation. Are they going to pay your medical bills? Have they offered to take care of your extremely high medical bill? I didn't think so. Meanwhile, Gilbert's mother, George, said that she believes that he may be negatively influenced by his friends and their version of the events. Quote, "This is so evil. I don't know what they've done to him or have over him that will make him flip on pain." George wrote, "We only wanted justice. He wanted justice. He told my entire family he wanted justice. He never remembered anything until he spoke with them. This is beyond crazy. But God will prevail." She speaks with the conviction of a person that seemingly is being told one thing and then all of a sudden something else. It's baffling. It doesn't make sense. You're reaching for explanation. Okay? I don't think this is the end of the story.